Yo, what up everybody? It's your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka GLauren33. I'm back here with another video on my channel for you guys today. We're getting close to NBA season, alright? The NBA hype is starting to come. It's about to be October. You guys know the NBA season is going to be tipping off soon. Training camps are going to be opening. Preseason, you guys already know the deal. This is one of the most hyped NBA seasons in a long time. The super team era is over. Now we're in the league. No, now we're in the era of dynamic duos, and we have so many new dynamic duos. I can't wait. We have James Harden and Russell Westbrook. We have LeBron and AD. We have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and there's so much more to talk about. We have Steph Curry and D'Angelo Russell until Klay Thompson comes back from injury. Kyrie and KD, even though that duo we won't be seeing that until KD comes back. But speaking of Kyrie, we're going to be talking about him in this video. I'm going to try my best not to rant. I'm going to try my best to, be understanding and try to be as professional as I can. But if you guys know, I did a couple of videos on this, during the NBA season. And Kyrie Irving, he left my Boston Celtics. He signed with the Brooklyn Nets. And, I ranted a little bit about this. But now we hear from Kyrie Irving himself why he left the Boston Celtics. All right, Kyrie reveals why he left, and we're gonna be going through this. I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts. All right, as we get into the NBA season, you guys are gonna see more NBA content here on the channel. I'm trying to be diverse for you guys. WWE, MCU, Dragon Ball, and we got some NBA content. So hopefully you guys are excited. But basically, this article, Kyrie Irving says he failed as the Boston Celtics leader, says death of his grandfather impacted change of heart. So, here we go. This is by Tom Westerholm. Former Boston Celtics star Kyrie Irving made his first appearance in front of the media on Friday at the Brooklyn Nets' Media Day. All right, answering questions about his departure from the Celtics and why last season didn't go well. Irving said he failed the Celtics as a leader, adding that the death of his grandfather in October sent him into a depression that stayed with him all season. I didn't give his Celtics teammates everything I could have, Irving said. Bringing everyone together, I failed. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. You guys know I'm going to give you guys the truth as I see it. Kyrie Irving failed as the leader of the Boston Celtics. There's no and, ifs, or there's nothing about that. All right, there's nothing about that. This is the first I'm hearing about his grandfather passing. Condolences to Kyrie and his family. Most of us know what it's like to lose somebody, especially a grandparent. I remember, I'm not gonna get into it, but Kyrie did fail as the Celtics leader. When Kyrie came in, especially after the season that the Celtics had the year before, they made it all the way to Game 7. They were one quarter away from going to the NBA Finals and facing the Golden State Warriors. They were one way away from defeating LeBron. All right, and they did that with Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum, who was in his rookie season at the time, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Marcus Smart, etc., etc. There was really no All-Star on that team, unless you want to count Al Horford as one. Gordon Hayward was out with the injury, so was Kyrie. The Celtics, their two All-Stars were gone, and yet they were this close to making it to the NBA Finals. It was the reason why me, along with almost everybody in the league, had the Celtics going to the NBA Finals and actually giving the Warriors a decent challenge. But the thing is, they highly, did not meet expectations. They got pushed out. They got swept. They almost got swept. They got beat by the Bucks in 5 games in the second round. And the thing that pissed me off the most is Kyrie said all year, because at the beginning of the year, Kyrie said that he was going to re-sign with the Boston Celtics. He said that during a preseason game, and we thought, oh, yep, all the drama's over. Kyrie's saying he's going to re-sign here, et cetera, et cetera. Great. 3-4 weeks later, we're already hearing Kyrie Irving say, or rumors saying from Kyrie's camp that he's considering going to the Knicks now. He's taking back what he said. I was getting so pissed. I was like, this is why you don't that's why you don't go public saying that you're going to re-sign with the Celtics so early. He basically said a year before his free agency, I'm going to re-sign here. On public record. Kyrie is known for not really liking the media's narrators of him. He doesn't like some of the stuff that is said about him in the media. But the thing is, Kyrie deserved to get, criticized and bashed for this, because he came out in the public eye, in front of the Boston Celtics fans, inside the TD Garden, he said, I'm going to re-sign with this team. I'm going to re-sign with you guys. And then just a couple weeks later, now we're hearing reports that you want to sign with another team? Are you kidding me? Really? I have no problem. If Kyrie wants to go to another team, that's his prerogative. But don't come out here giving false promises. You basically sat on here and promised. You committed yourself to the Boston Celtics. Danny Ainge, everybody said, oh, Danny Ainge, I remember listening to him on, local radio here in Boston. He said, oh, I'm very confident that Kyrie's going to re-sign. It's kind of like when you're getting wedding, when you're getting married, all right? Kyrie committed an engagement to the Celtics when he said, oh, I'm going to re-sign here. And then, Danny Ainge was like, oh, yeah, free agency, that's the wedding date. That's when we're going to make it official. Kyrie and the Boston Celtics being together for the long run. All right? And then all year, because remember, the Celtics got off to a very slow start to the season. They struggled throughout the first couple months of the season. Then they picked it up a little bit after the All-Star break. But Kyrie kept saying, every time the Celtics, every time the media would ask him, oh, are you concerned? Are you concerned? Are you concerned? He would come out and say, oh, no, because I'm one of the best players in the world. As long as we get to the playoffs and we get in a good spot, I'm confident in what this team can do. That's Kyrie's own words. But clearly he was wrong, because remember when the postseason came, how bad he saw against the Bucks. It's like he gave up. He gave up. I don't remember what his field goal percentage. It was like very low 20s or very low 30s, somewhere around that range. He was in the 20 to 30% range. He shot absolutely terrible in the last 4 games against the Bucks, when the Bucks basically swept the Celtics. It was absolutely disgusting. Right? And to me, the way I saw it, I viewed it as basically Kyrie had already had one foot out the door. All right? He was already thinking about going to Brooklyn. All right? And the thing is, he ghosted the Celtics the same way he did to the Cavaliers back a couple years ago when Kyrie originally got traded here to Boston. Guys, remember, there was reports that Kyrie, ghosted the Cavs players, especially in the playoffs when they made it against the Warriors, when the Warriors swept them about, 2 years ago. He had already ghosted his players, and he was already playing to leave before the end of the NBA Finals anyway. He basically did the same thing with the Celtics, because after the Celtics got beat by the Bucks, the Celtics didn't hear from Kyrie until he made his decision to go to the Nets. It's like he had already pre-decided what he was going to do. So this had been the second team that Kyrie had ghosted on his way out. And so now, people are looking at Brooklyn. This is his third team. All right, Kyrie, yes, he's one of the best point guards in the league. All right, I have him I have him third, right behind Damian Lillard and Steph Curry. But that's my personal opinion. People say, Kyrie, this is your fresh start. This is your team. You chose this team. All right? He was drafted by the Cavs. He was traded to the Celtics. But he chose this team. He wanted to play for Brooklyn. He wanted to play close to home. And now he has that chance. This is his chance to prove everybody that, oh, what happened in Cleveland, what happened in Boston, that's not the real him. He has to go out there and lead the Brooklyn Nets. I'm not as big a fan of Kyrie as I used to be because of the way he treated the Boston Celtics. And I kind of don't want to see him win in Brooklyn for that reason, because he's in the same conference. He's in the same division as my Celtics. I want to see the Celtics destroy the Nets, especially this year, especially knowing that KD's on the way next season when he gets healthy. But Irving said some other things to his decision. Irving said that the Celtics were a surprise team to trade for him. It was something that I couldn't really explain at the time, because personally, I don't think I was acknowledging the things that were surrounding my life, as well as how to lead this group of guys that I was traded to. I wasn't drafted by Boston. I had no type of affiliation with Boston before I left Cleveland. There wasn't any works. Boston was a surprise team with WYC and Danny that took the chance on trading for me. And when they did, and the way our first season happened, the way the end of the season happened, and having so much youth and exuberance and goal set personally, I think that some of the actual knowledge that needed to be had in terms of being a championship team takes more than just 2 years. And, once again, it notes here that Irving committed to the Celtics before the season and after. Kyrie says, the Boston crowd was immense. It was crazy. They loved me in Boston. I loved the Boston fans. And then 2 weeks later, things just got really, really rocky for me in terms of when I left. After the Phoenix game, I went to my grandfather's memorial. He passed on October 23rd. And after he passed, basketball was the last thing on my mind. So a lot of basketball and the joy I had for it was sucked away from me. There was a facial expression that I carried around with me throughout the year. I know the facial expression. Because if you look at it, the way Kyrie was, the way he was, his body language on the court, sometimes he didn't look like he wanted to be there. He would just have this straight face, no emotion. All right, I didn't know it was about his grandfather, and I wish we knew this beforehand. And maybe a lot of us would have been on as harsh on Kyrie as we had, but I didn't know anybody to get close to me in that instant, and it really bothered me. I didn't take the necessary steps to get counseling or get therapy or anything to deal with someone that close to me dying. I never dealt with anything like that. For me, I responded in ways that were uncharacteristic. Like I said, I had to acknowledge the fact. I had to acknowledge the fact to the organization first. He added that he wasn't honest about his feelings during the season. 9 months ago, I was sitting in front of the Boston crowd saying, and this is the big part. 9 months ago, I was sitting in front of the Boston crowd saying I wanted to resign. After that, a lot of things happened in my personal life that really changed the landscape of how I felt about the game of basketball and actually playing in a team environment. And that really affected me as a human being. I didn't share it with anyone. I didn't want to come out and say that this was bothering me or I'm in a depression at this point of dealing with the death of my grandfather. So when all this happened and the NBA and the pressures I put in it, quotations from this basketball game, came into free agency and what I was doing with my future, I wanted to dispel all those things, but I don't think I did the right way and about being honest about how I feel. So that's basically Kyrie's thoughts on why he left Boston. I'm going to, just to wrap this all up, hearing this from Kyrie's mouth, there's a couple things. One thing that I don't like about Kyrie is he goes a lot into these long-winded explanations about anything. The biggest thing to me is when he was on First Take with Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith, and he was explaining what happened between him, LeBron, why he left Cleveland, etc., etc. All right? Instead of being simple, he would go on the 2-3 minute, monologues about basketball and how he wants to be as a player, as a man, yada yada this, yada yada that, and how he wanted to be a leader. He clearly wasn't a leader on the Boston Celtics. All right? He clearly wasn't. And I understand a little bit more now that, and I sympathize with him about him losing his grandfather and how that affected him, because losing, you could tell here that his grandfather meant a lot about him. For me, my grandma's still alive. I'm happy that she's still alive, and she means a lot to me. So I could definitely, relate to Kyrie in that regard. All right, I don't know if he relayed this information to the team, how many players in the locker room, the coaches. I don't know if the team knew about that, how the team felt about that. I hope they did know. If they didn't know, that's on Kyrie for not letting them know that this was affecting him and his mindset. Because this is the first I'm hearing about how his grandfather impacted him during the season. I don't remember hearing this from Danny Ainge or Brad Stevens or Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Horford, none of those guys. All right? So that's a whole nother factor if the team and the coaches knew about this and how this was impacting Kyrie. All right, but the Kyrie, he's basically saying in that long paragraph that ended, he basically said, "Oh, yeah, I regret saying that I wanted to re-sign with Boston, not because of the team, but it wasn't the smart decision for him to make, especially him coming out a year in advance saying he was going to re-sign with the Celtics before free agency. It wasn't smart." It wasn't smart. And if Kyrie had decided to leave in free agency normally without saying anything at all, I would have been fine with it. Or I would have been okay with it. But for me, Kyrie saying that he was going to leave in free agent, or that he was going to re-sign here, and then the way he played during the regular season and the playoffs, especially against Milwaukee, it's like he had one foot out the door the entire time. Like he was already gone. All right? And Kyrie, he needs to learn from this, and hopefully this makes him a better player and a leader. That's the more important part. Hopefully what happened in Boston, what happened with everything he went through over the last year, hopefully it makes him a better leader for his teammates in Brooklyn. Because if he doesn't bring that leadership to Brooklyn, all right, then it's not going to work. It doesn't matter if you have Kyrie and KD. It doesn't matter how talented you are. You might be talented, you might win games, but you're not going to win championships. All right? Real championship teams have leaders. And Kyrie being one of the best players in this league, he needs to become a true leader, and now he has that chance in Brooklyn. All right? That's about, all I got to say about Kyrie, really. That's Kyrie's explanation for why he left the Boston Celtics. I just wish we knew some of this beforehand, because Kyrie didn't give us any insight. No insight during the season. All right? He was being very cryptic. Very cryptic. He's like, we'll deal with free agency when we get there. I just wish we knew this beforehand, because it would have made it easier to understand what Kyrie was going through, and it would have made it more understandable why he made the decisions that he did and why he acted the way that he did. But let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of Kyrie's introductory presser with the Brooklyn Nets. Tell me what you guys think now of Kyrie Irving, now that we know all these new details about what happened to him last season. All right, I wish Kyrie the best of luck. I'm not wishing him, to beat my Celtics, because I will be rooting hard against Kyrie when, him and the Nets come to town to face us. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys like this, you guys want more videos like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Peace.